For you, your Muslim faith and God is obviously central to your life and to who you are. Can you explain what role God plays in your life?
Well, first of all, I was born, raised, and brought up in a Muslim family, in a Muslim community. Since childhood, religion's always been the most important thing for me. And when I say religion, the first thing I mean is salah, namaz. And my entire life in general, my daily routine, the way I lived, trained, studied, and everything else has always been built around salah. The rest was scheduled around it. Even today, when I was choosing time for this podcast, I knew we'd be talking for a couple of hours, so I deliberately picked a time right after the midday prayer. I pray, come here, finish up here with you, and then go pray again. That's how my life's been, and still is, and that's how it will continue to be, I hope. I've always tried to organize my life around worship, because first and foremost, my purpose in this life is to worship the one God. Everything that happens after that is it's secondary, so to speak. And faith in God and learning more and just striving to get closer to God, that continues throughout our entire lives. So in that regard, I'm very grateful to the Almighty for opening this door of understanding and reflection for me, for helping me realize that we are all servants of God and that our purpose in life is to serve one God.
And as you were explaining, that helped you in your career in the sense that,
Psychologically,
by keeping you from letting success go to your head.
that helped me with everything. I've always placed my only hope in the Almighty. Whatever situation I might face, I've always believed that only the Almighty can truly make it easier for me. And when it comes to not letting success go to your head, not becoming proud, not becoming full of yourself, religion and my faith in Allah have helped me with that too. I truly believe that only faith can help a person get through life's hardest trials. And sometimes I think about people who suffer the loss of a loved one, someone very close to them. For example, when I lost my father, I remember thinking to myself, if I didn't believe in the Almighty, if I didn't have faith in God, and understand that it was predestined, that we all come into this world and then leave it, that no one stays here forever, that no one belongs to anyone and we all belong to the Almighty, and that we will all return to Him. I don't know how I would have coped with it. I'm a very emotional person. I think it would have been extremely difficult for me to go through all of that without faith. In that sense, I feel fortunate to have this understanding.
So faith really helped you when you lost your father.
This was the only thing that helped. Nothing else worked. I know a couple of people who have lost someone very close to them, and they struggle to accept it. They would ask, why? So many questions. I told them, to answer that question, you need to go deeper into religion and try to understand. Why were you even born in the first place? And why do these thoughts even come into your head? And what if you didn't have any thoughts at all? What if you couldn't think, couldn't understand anything? These thoughts, this awareness, your mind, your abilities, none of that was there before. Then it appeared. Why? That's the question. None of us existed. Then we were born, we were little, we weren't aware of anything, we didn't remember anything. Then little by little, we grew up and became adults. We became successful, became somebody. We became who we are. So why did all of this come specifically to you? There are so many questions like that. And so these questions are, let's say, a kind of guide through life. And for me, that's what religion is. It guides me and helps me.
You often say, Alhamdulillah, all praise to God. That's very powerful, that sense of gratitude. Can you explain why you say it so often?
You know the saying, the tongue speaks what the heart is full of. The way you speak shows what's in your heart. If you have something dark in your heart, your words will show it, no doubt. We all have some dark parts in our hearts. Every single person has them. Sometimes they come out in what we say, how we express ourselves, what we share with people, and so on. Everyone has that. But if your heart is mostly good and pure, then that will also be reflected in your speech. And I just like praising the Almighty and giving all the credit for my success back to Him, because everything we have is given to us by the Almighty. Throughout the history, there have been many people who made big mistakes after becoming successful, powerful, and wealthy. And they started saying, no, this happened to me because I'm so great, because I'm so intelligent, because I had vision, because I've got the brains, because I'm extremely capable. That's why all of this came my way. But at the same time, there were many others who worked just as hard, who weren't any less intelligent, and the Almighty just didn't give it to them. He chose you and gave it to you. And you just have to give the credit back to Him. You shouldn't take the credit for yourself. That's what I believe. And it's something I've come to through studying my religion. I understand that everything the Almighty has given to me is not because of who I am. It's simply something God has given me as a test, to test me, and in the end, see which of my deeds outweigh the others, the good or the bad. Because as a believer, I believe that there will be judgment, and everything we have, everything we do, every action we take, we will be held accountable for it. There will be a day of judgment, there will be scales, and everything will be weighed.